Students at Quincy High School's Project Cars Activity Fair got to see a number of things related to reckless driving, like this, a rollover simulator. As you can see, there's no sidewalk here on 12th Street going from Cherry Lane to St. Charles Drive. And for some local residents, that makes walking to South Park a little bit more dangerous. John Wood Community College had to depend on the charity of Quincy's public school system after its adult education center burned down. This morning, they found a new home. The other half of the money for this project would come from the city of Quincy's 6th Ward. And if it all comes together, you could see a walkway here come late summer. Patrick Lester, WGEM News, Quincy. 500 people had already come to the Fitzpatrick Brothers Job Fair by hour 2. And Snelling's Julie Bonansinga said that in her 25 years of experience, she'd never seen anything like it. Waves of people filling out applications, submitting resumes, and asking for advice. That's what Vincent Knight is up against in his search for work as a forklift operator.
Usually when we had a downturn, you could at least find something, within 30 miles or so, but right now it's really hard because they're all laying off at the same time.
Knight lost his job at Wadlow Industries in Hannibal 3 weeks ago. Now he and others like him are looking for work at a time when most companies are looking to cut expenses. Knight says this job would mean a lot to him.
Stability for what I can get,
Knight's is just one story buried in this crowd of job seekers. Bonansinga can't remember the last time she's dealt with something this big.
It's more than I've ever seen at any job fair in 15 years, so it is not typical at all.
Bonansinga says they're interviewing for positions ranging from machine operator to lab manager. Now, if you want to be a lab manager, a college degree is expected. But if you don't have one, there are still plenty of opportunities here for you. Patrick Lester, WGEM News, Quincy. John Wood Community College had to depend on the charity of Quincy's public school system after its adult education center burned down. This morning, they found a new home. Classes can start again in August after John and Wanda Lee Kinscherf gave John Wood the building at 122 North 5th Street. John Wood President Thomas Klinkar says the new facility means stability in turbulent times.
It means that we're going to remain accessible to the area residents who take advantage of our adult literacy and GED programs.
After his bakery was damaged by smoke and water from the fire, My Coog owner Frederick Scholl had to set up shop all over again. He's found a new location on 12th Street in what used to be the Common Ground coffee shop, and he's happy to be there.
Yeah, it's time to go back to the oven.
Not everyone's been so lucky. Business is booming at Coffee on Broadway, but owner Jan Bartz says she's closing on Saturday anyway. The self-proclaimed caffeine addict is battling allergies to cleaning chemicals, and she says they've gotten to be too much.
It's been my pleasure to serve the people of Quincy for 3.5 years, and I look forward to seeing all of them wherever I go.
Is there another coffee shop in her future? Bartz says yes, and for the people who frequented the last one, that's good news. Patrick Lester, WGEM News, Quincy. Students at Quincy High School's Project Cars Activity Fair got to see a number of things related to reckless driving, like this, a rollover simulator. Let's take a look at that simulation. In this case, the driver isn't wearing a seatbelt. Watch for the stuffed dummy in the front window. It's because of situations like this that Taylor Holtmeyer, a student at QHS, says it's important to take safe driving seriously.
Teens don't realize how much it affects them when they get behind a wheel, and that every choice is not just affecting them, it's also affecting everybody they're driving with.
But according to a student survey at QHS, Project Cars still has some work to do. Out of 805 students surveyed, 50 students said they don't wear their seatbelt. 171 say they exceed the speed limit, and 511 said they talked on their phone while driving.
Cell phone usage right now we see to be a huge problem. But then again, along with the seatbelts and failure to buckle up and the alcohol that we're seeing on a daily basis, technology has taken us also in a different direction.
So at today's activities fair, students got to learn about the dangers of unsafe driving habits firsthand from local law enforcement officers and professionals. And they got to try on drunk goggles to see what driving impaired feels like.
That's tougher than it looks. It's definitely tougher than it looks.
Kindheart says it's important to get the word out about safe driving early, but that it can't just come from parents or police officers. It has to come from teens. And that makes events like this, run by teens for teens, all the more important. Patrick Lester, WGEM News, Quincy.